G-Man, consider yourself evicted. You won't talk to me. You won't listen to me. You're continuing to do this fucking tirade. Consider yourself evicted. Get the fuck out of my house. Pack your shit and go. Now. You know, many people have said I'm really, really fat, but I look at myself and I'm like, damn, girl, you have made progress. Made a lot of progress. And frankly, I don't think I look bad in my tummy. And I think it's going down more and more and more. Frankly. So basically, I used to be 570 pounds. And I'm now 270. And I feel so good about myself that I'm 270 now, and I've lost so much weight over the years. That's 300 pounds. That's more than me now that I've lost. So, all the girls out there feeling bad about themselves and thinking that...
All right. Give me a second here. Let me try to get this off of here. Always with the phone. All right. Gonna do this without the camera on, so just to let y'all know. All right. So hello everybody. Welcome to the Sowing and Reaping YouTube channel. And today, I'm gonna be responding to not one, but not two, but three videos that was made by Shanny and Rev over the last few days. One of them caught me off guard, and that was the one when the police incident happened. And then the other two is just Comedy Central after that. But I'm going to be responding to Mr. Rev and his claims, and Shanny and me wanting her, and all of you wanting her, and her being all that, and a bag of buffalo wings, you know. And I'm going to be showing everybody why she's delusional and crazy as usual. But before I do that, let's start off with something positive for Mr. Rev. You know, before I rip him a new butthole and destroy and end what's left of Shanny's pathetic social media career, if you can call it that. Rev, man, that's a nice new ride you got, dude. You know, for two people that supposedly don't work, and for two people that don't necessarily got any money coming in, for two people that ain't doing too good, that car looks a lot better than the Cadillac, and it certainly looks better than the SUV that you had that I see on your property over there. Now, naturally, it is illegal for me to go on your property without your permission, so of course I did not do that. However, it is not against Pennsylvania law for me to be across the street, walk past, take a picture, and keep on walking. There is nothing wrong with that. Now, Rev, you can consider this to be something of a warning. Stop talking about me, dude. Just stop. Stop. Because if you don't, in the next thumbnail you're going to be looking at, everyone's going to see your ride. I'm just letting you know, dude. Just stop. Just stop. All right. But what I want to do now is I want to respond to the first video that Mr. JWE, Revelation News TV.net, whatever the heck he called it back then. Back when he actually had some independence and a brain and actually had some creativity. I want to respond to what he said in the first video when he said that he called the police, which he did, because on my voicemail, they called me and told me that they wanted me to call them and they didn't want me to show up on their property, which of course I never was intending on doing. The purpose was to walk past and then take a picture of, his ride and whatnot, which I can legally do. I don't see there's anything illegal about doing that. What I can't do is actually go on his property. I mean, for crying out loud, I can get one of his neighbors to do it. You'd be surprised what somebody would do for $20. You know what I mean? But especially when you got $20 to give somebody, Rev. I mean, you should know this. You used to have $20, you know? I don't even know if you know what $20 looks like anymore. But then again, maybe I should stop saying that because you have a phenomenal new ride now. That car looks really nice. And it's not a rental car because you can't pay for it every week. I know the uncle must have gave you that car. But you two getting on here talking about how broke you are all the time. You're not being intellectually honest about your situation. And I got a funny feeling a certain Revster is about to get the house that he's living in. Now, Rev, listen to me. If you're going to poke me and you're going to attack me and you're going to lie about me and you're going to come after me, sir, okay, if you're going to come after me like that, please understand I'm the same person who allowed you to live in my house for free for the better part of 2 years. And I haven't even begun to talk about what I could legally do your direction. So you don't want to go there, dude. You just don't want to go there. But let's get to this video here. You said that you gave me a house when I was homeless. See, from what I'm gathering here, you must have a few new people watching your channel that don't know the history of the whole house situation and whatnot. And you're still telling people the same old baloney lie that you gave me the house when I was homeless after I mentioned on this channel, GTV, when GTV was up, on my main channel, I believe even on Marked by God, that I was not homeless when you gave me the house. Even the first time when you gave it to me, I wasn't homeless. You gave me a house, and I, by faith, moved all the way up there, and I lived inside the house, of course, with your permission, and with the permission, well, with your permission. I didn't need Shanny's permission for nothing because Shanny didn't own anything, you know. And now, by the way, I'm going to address this 50% ownership of everything that you was talking about, Rev, in a moment, because you don't think when you make your videos, dude. You really don't. But anyway, you keep talking about how you did the Christian thing and you gave me this house. You gave me this house. You gave me this house. The entire time. Okay, first of all, Rev, let's get to our Bibles here real quick. Okay, Jesus said that you're not supposed to let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, right? Meaning you're not supposed to be going out there making it into like a big spectacle about what you did for somebody else. You're not supposed to be looking to receive anything in return after you do it. And then you're supposed to do it as a sacrificial offering or whatever, right? There's a lot of things I can go into when it talks about giving and giving in the name of Jesus. You gave that house to me in your own name. Okay. As a matter of fact, if you want to get super technical about it, Rev, when this happened the first time, okay, you had wet brain and Shanny was making all of your decisions for you. You want to know why I can say that, Rev, and why you look so stupid talking about this? All anyone has to do is go on Fat Courtney Loves channel, XX Archive, maybe not XX Archive, Fat Courtney Loves channel for this. If you can find Dragnut's old playlist, it's all documented there, and then there's my stuff, where it's all documented about the circumstances on how I got the house the first time. Okay. I'm going to bore some people to death with this again, but I'll go through this as quickly as possible. I try to talk fast and everything, right? But the first thing they offered me was that big TV that you guys always see in that picture with the junk around the house and whatnot. Then Shanny made a public video in front of everybody on YouTube and said, "G-Man, we want to give you a house." I had to call them up on the phone and tell them to take down the video because, you know, some of us on here have brain cells and understand the what could happen if other people start hearing about what you're doing and everything and whatnot. So of course she took down the video and everything, right? I'm not going into all the details about like how I got in the house and all of that because I think everybody who watches this channel knows that now, right? So I'm going to do some skipping. I ultimately lived in the house, but because I would not pick up the phone every time Shanny called me, because Shanny couldn't control me and the content that I was putting on my G-Man channel, Shanny made a YouTube video and told me to get out of her house. You saw it in the intro where she said, I won't talk to her. I'm continuing making my videos the way I'm making them and everything. And that she wanted me out of her house. First of all, you can't evict nobody out of a house just for not wanting to talk to you on the phone. See, I wasn't your man, Shanny. Rev was. And if you wanted attention, you should have went to your man and not called me about all these other things that was going on in your life. Okay, that's the first thing that I want to bring up. Okay, so I was actually living in my apartment in New Jersey when I lost my job and everything, right? I was living in New Jersey. Then you heard about it, assumed in that brain of yours, maybe you heard voices, I don't know what the heck it was, and then you assumed I was homeless. I was not homeless. How the heck was I homeless? And I'm going back and forth. This is just stupid. It's stupid. Okay, so I end up living there. You don't get your way with me, so you throw me out of the house. Now, I'm going to talk specifically to Shanny here because Rev's a moron and he's stupid. And unless 50 other people go to him and I'm sorry, even if 50 other men showed him videotape evidence, he still wouldn't believe this. Shanny was using you for your money, dude, and she wanted to come home to me. Okay? And you know this to be true, yet you continue to get on your Instagram, you keep getting on social media and trying to pretend that's not the case. But anyway, that's ain't here nor there. Everybody knows that. That's not even news. But what's interesting about all of this, Rev, is this. You made a YouTube video claiming that you guys are doing a Christian thing. That wasn't a Christian thing. That was a demonic thing that you did. Because everything you did was to glorify you and to glorify your woman. As a matter of fact, every time you gave somebody something, it was always about you and your woman. It was never about Jesus. It was never about God. It was never about those things. It was always about you. It was always about her. It was always about you. It was always about her. And that's all I'm going to say about that first video. Because, like I said, I think the majority of the people that watched that video were laughing at you. And if you don't believe me, do yourself a favor. Look on a channel other than your own and go look at what people are saying regarding you selling me a house for $1 and then saying I owe you. What was it, a loan or something? Was it a Bank of America I owe you 4% transaction or something? Because now we're going to start getting into some of these other videos where you were talking and whatnot, right? Oh, we gave G-Man a house for $1. You know, he had the right to sell it. You're right, I had a right to sell it. But you know, the entire time that you and Shanny were living there, both of you was telling me that I need to hold on to it, don't sell it. Meanwhile, Dragnut knew what the house was. The Geek Room knew what the house was. Burnt Toes knew what the house was. All these people knew what the house was, and I'm just supposed to hold on to this? What are you on, crack? I have learned so much from this entire experience. It's not even funny. That if I never went through this, I would not have known like all of the things that I can do if I chose to do it, if I wanted to. But here's the thing now, right? He's telling me he gives me the house for $1. I make all of these repairs on his house. He doesn't spend 1 cent on a repair in there. But I'm spending all of this money to make repairs in the house and whatnot. I'm owing contractors money for the repairs that's being made on this house. And then this doofus, this jabroni, this moron gets on here and says, I don't have the right to do what I want with what you gave me. Now, here's the thing now. The first time you gave me the house and I made some repairs, you threw me out. Then the house was yours again. And I made video after video after video saying even if they change their mind, they can take that house and shove it up their rear ends. See, Rev, what you're not telling your audience is that I got the house the second time and you contacted me. As a matter of fact, you contacted me the first time and then you contacted me the second time. I guess you thought you was getting one up on Dragnut when you decided to give me the house, right? But what you didn't tell everybody on YouTube is how you owed all of this back money in taxes, all the fines that you had. I have video proof where I can, and I think I showed Dragnut this. If I didn't, I'll post it on YouTube. There was raccoon poop inside the house. The grass was super high. If you're about 6 feet tall, I would say that the grass would go up a little bit above your knee or maybe to the middle of your thigh. That grass was high. And they was finding that place like crazy. I still have the individual fines. Rev, you and Shanny think I've talked about everything regarding you too. You do understand on purpose. I hold back stuff on purpose a lot. I haven't even shown people the fines. I haven't even shown people the money that was owed, that I had to pay. So all this, you sold G-Man a house for $1. I think you tend to forget something, Junior. I think you tend to forget something. And the thing that you're tending to forget, sir, I paid all of the bills and I made all of the repairs in that house. So I had a right to do what I wanted with the house. Okay, McFly? So anyway, let's get back into this here. So he did the Christian thing and then he wants to question my Christianity. Rev, listen to me, Rev. For those of you who don't know, because a lot of you don't, I have a second channel. The second channel you can find is by typing in XX0054, or you can type in XX0054 G-Man, capital G, M-A-N, and you can find my other channel. On that YouTube channel, I go after atheists, I go after the Hebrew Israelites, and I do a lot of ministry stuff on there. You go in there, you go see me on the street with my bullhorn, risking my life going out there preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. You see me out there dealing with the Hebrew Israelite. You see me doing all. What do you see Rev doing? The only time you ever see Shanny doing anything remotely close to anything that I've done with my ministry is Shanny going out there arguing with street preachers, telling them that they're being Pharisees. Oh, Shanny, you thought I forgot about that, right? That's something else you should go to Fat Courtney Love's channel for. When you was all getting dressed up like a goth and you was going to your little concert and you went out there and you was arguing with the preacher. It actually wasn't that long before you would actually be arrested in Boulder, Colorado for putting your hands on Rev. Something that would be a reoccurring thing because you are an extremely violent person. You want to say that you're not a violent person, Shanny? Like I said, I've only shown about 3 or 4% of what I can actually do on this channel. I've been lazy with my editing. You have no idea what I can do if I choose to. I can make a 5-hour video on you alone just on how violent you really are at the end of the day. Okay? Don't you get me started, okay? Because if you think you got destroyed on the race issue, which we're going to get into today, you just wait until it's time for me to start dealing with you with your hands and how you're beating that man up all the time. All right. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's continue with some of the other stupid things that was said in these 3 videos that was made by both Rev and Shanny. But let's stick with Rev, because you know Rev was saying a lot of stuff that Shanny's not into. Shanny's not into black guys. Rev, I don't smoke, I don't drink, and I have all of my faculties. Okay. I am perfectly aware of the video that exists on YouTube where Shanny said that every race has been inside of her. You know that whore you call a woman? See, Shanny doesn't like being called a whore. So Shanny, allow me to explain to you what a whore is, since you don't like being called a whore. And I shouldn't call women whores, right? A whore is somebody who sells their body for profit. Shanny, have you ever sold your body for profit before, Shanny? Let's see something here. Let's see if I still got this here. No, or did I delete it? Let me see something here. I think she's holding Vagisil or some mess, I think, or whatever. Shanny, I do believe you had an OnlyFans, and you and Rev were doing porn. And if I'm not mistaken, you made a whopping $6 in all 4 or 5 episodes that you did doing your porn. I don't even know how many episodes you did because I never seen it and never will see it because I'm not interested in watching blubber deal with a stick figure. I'm not interested in it. Never happened, never will be. Okay? You are a whore because you prostituted yourself on OnlyFans. Did I hurt your feelings? You are a disgusting whore. Okay. Then on top of that, not only are you a disgusting whore, you bragged about how every race was inside of you. Tell me something, Shanny. How is it that you can brag about every race being inside of you and then claim you don't like other races? You only like white people. Because that's what Rev said on his video. He said that, Rev, that you only like white men. Tell me something, Shanny. Or how about this? It's story time regarding the Minnesota Barracuda as it was swimming down the lake, stinking up the joint, smelling like fungus feet, and smelling like butt, and smelling like the worst kind of turd you can possibly imagine. Funky, never experiencing the joys of soap and water. This barracuda saw Dragnut's wife and actually flirted with her, made sexual gestures towards Dragnut's white wife. Wait a minute. The legend has it that the Minnesota Barracuda wasn't going after a white woman. The Minnesota Barracuda was going after a black woman. But she only likes white people. Okay, so the Minnesota Barracuda was doing her thing, swimming in the mud, swimming in the sewer system, swimming in all kinds of stench. And then the Minnesota Barracuda saw the Dragnut, the four-eyed college student who think he knows everything, who's smarter than every last one of us, by the way. Shout out to Dragnut. And she begins to flirt with him, even inviting him to come to Boulder, Colorado, so he can get him some poo-tang pie that only Shanny can make. Okay? But not only that, she would flirt with another person of color, someone who was a little darker than white. And she was so vulgar and disgusting and so non-convincing about how a man should want to eat her all the time, which she actually did. She said that I could be that this black man could be eating her all the time, but instead I want to battle the Hebrew Israelites and I want to do what God told me to do. So yeah, Shanny, I'm sorry. According to the Minnesota, the legend of the Minnesota Barracuda, you was coming after me pretty strong. Now you said, Shanny, that what is it that you said? You said that I wanted you when you was with Chris. For those of you who wasn't around for that particular time, I had a verbal altercation with Chris. Me and Chris wasn't always seeing eye to eye with things, so me and him had an argument on YouTube, which turned into an argument over the phone. And when we had this argument on the phone, when I typically argue with people and I go after people, I meet you when you come at me. If you come at me strong, I'm coming at you strong. You come at me with that nonsense, I'm going to come at you with it the same way. And yes, I shouldn't be doing it. Yes, I shouldn't be acting that way, but I did on this particular case. And by the way, it definitely wasn't just Chris. I've done this to the Geek Room and to a few other people on here, right? So I told Chris that I'll come over to Minnesota and I'll take your woman from you. And I guess Shanny and Chris was having their problems and everything and whatnot. And I got lucky with my guesses, I guess. Actually, I didn't have to get lucky because you can figure everything out with a person who talks too much on social media all the time. I predicted that he was putting her hands on her, which he wasn't. I predicted that their marriage wasn't as good as everybody looked at it on YouTube. I can tell that he's very controlling. And she was like, how do you know that? Did you tell him this? All of this was on the phone and whatnot. And then I was saying that I was going to come over there and I was going to take Shanny away. And Shanny took that literally. And Shanny believed from that day on that G-Man wanted him some of that funk. And that just wasn't the case, ladies and gents. I did not want none of that funk. I did not want none of that work. I didn't want any of that at all. No, I didn't know how funky she was back then. I didn't know how much she weighed back then. I didn't know any of that stuff because Shanny rarely showed herself on camera back then. So, you knew she had a big face, but I didn't know how she smelled or anything like that. I would learn that later when they lived inside the house. But no, Shanny, I wasn't trying to break up your marriage, as you keep saying. I wasn't trying to go after you like you keep saying. I wasn't doing any of those things. You're just delusional. Somebody compliments you, and then you take it to the moon and think somebody wants your hand in holy matrimony. All right. So let's go through this again now. Okay. Shanny, you also said that I need to let it go because I'll never get you. Because now, Shanny, I've been doing a lot of research on narcissism. Okay. If you actually can take a look at the history of my videos, what I've been watching on my channels, I think you guys can actually do that if I didn't private it or whatever. You will actually see just how many of these videos I've been looking at. And I've actually uploaded a lot of them videos to my channel just with your face on it. You know what I mean? And I'm not a narcissist, but I know you are. And I know you're so self-centered and so self-absorbed that you actually believe that everybody on social media wants you. Shanny, I'm about to hurt your feelings here. I'm about to cut my camera off for this one. I'm gonna hurt your feelings here a little bit, but hopefully you'll learn from this experience. Now, I ain't gonna say all men because to each his own. But some of us guys want a woman that smell good. Some of us guys want a godly woman, not a demonic woman. Some of us want a woman who can help us keep $1 in our pockets and not be with somebody who keeps taking money out of our pockets. Some of us need because they say that behind every good man is a good woman or whatever, right? You've done no good to Rev whatsoever. And Rev's not man enough to admit that you destroyed his life. Actually, the both of you destroyed his life, but you did a pretty good job of helping him do it. You're not necessarily a guy's first choice. You understand? You see, why would I want to go after somebody who can't even wipe her own butt Why would I want to go after somebody who can't even walk to the bathroom? Why would I want to go after somebody who is not even 50 and literally needs to depend on me for everything? I want you to think about that a minute, Shanny. Why would I want somebody who literally would need to depend on me for everything? Now, if I went into a relationship knowing that you were physically handicapped, let's say I had a high school crush on you or something like that, and I saw that you was paralyzed from the neck down, and I've always had something for you, then that'd be different. I didn't know you from high school. I didn't know that you had all of these issues that you keep pretending that you have. You understand what I'm saying? You don't work because you're lazy. Okay? You don't you don't wipe your own butt because you're lazy. You don't put the spoon to your own mouth and Rev does it for you because you're lazy. You don't bathe because you're lazy. Your bathtub is a litter box because you're lazy. And you're telling me that's what I want? Like Rev's like, she ain't into you. She not into you. She not into you. Well, wait a minute. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. Thank you that she's not into me. You want to know why? She was into me. I would be a glorified nurse. I would be a glorified nurse. Basically, dating worthless dirt. I would be dating worthless dirt. And the kind of dirt that don't want to bathe. So why do I want you again, Shanny? Just curious. Why exactly do I want you? I don't want you. I told you this, that if a bum had $5 in his pocket and they knocked on your door and said, do you want me? You would take that person. Okay. The only reason you're still with Rev is because now you spent all of Rev's money. Now you're going to spend all of his uncle's money. And by the way, if this is Rev's uncle watching this or whatever, I truly feel sorry for you if you believe anything that's coming out of her mouth. There is a reason why I threw them out. And if you don't wise up, you're going to be broke. I'm just letting you know right now, you're going to be broke. Because the Minnesota Barracuda only cares about the Minnesota Barracuda. Just keeping it real. So what else did they say about me? What else did they say about me? Let me see if I can remember. Because there was just so much stupidity coming out of their mouth. Let me see something here. Let me see. What else did they say on there that was so stupid? Let me see. Oh, I owe them. No, I already addressed that. I already addressed her liking only white guys, which everybody on the internet knows is a lie. Not really sure. I'm not really sure why exactly I want her. I don't want Shanny. You know, Rev, I want to tell you something, Rev. I want you to go look up something on social media. It's called a soul tie. I want you to go look into that, okay? Go look up what a soul tie is, okay? And then when you do that, ask yourself this. Why do you think differently? I think ever since you stuck I think people call it a baby carrot. I'm not going to be so nice since I've never seen it. Well, actually, that's not really true. Actually, come to think about it, if anybody's been around since the first house saga and whatnot, you all know about the picture while Shanny was still married that he sent to Shanny. Because that was one of the things that they talked about on that, how Shanny never cheated on Chris. That's not true. You can go to, and by the way, if you don't know the YouTube channel, it's called Chafee no, my bad, I got that wrong. It's called The Odd Irrelevancy. It's called The Odd Irrelevancy. And when you go to that channel, that is Shanny's ex-husband. It's called The Odd Irrelevancy. The Odd Irrelevancy. If you go there, you will hear this man tell you that she was cheating before she got involved with Rev. Okay. And if you really want to hear it comes out the horse's mouth, since that's what Rev keeps preaching all the time, and Rev's so stupid and he forgot about Glue and Fundy Archive, why don't you go to Fundy Archive and listen to Shanny say that they had phone sex while she was with Chris? It comes out of her own mouth. So, Rev, you ain't pwn me. You didn't own me. You didn't destroy me. You're stupid. That's what you are. You are stupid with a capital S. Your own woman admitted that you two cheated. That's why the two of you can't be apart for so long, because she is afraid you're gonna cheat on her. Because you know how it goes, right? If she had to cheat to get you, then she knows that the two of you might cheat on each other. So, like I know how that game goes, right? Do you? And that's another thing. Why would I want to be involved with someone who's got a history of being unfaithful to their men? I'm gonna put my face on here for that one. Why would I want to be involved with somebody who has a history of being unfaithful to their men, beating up their men, punching them in the face, punching them in the eye? Why would I want to be with somebody like that? And Shanny, how does it feel to know that you have never done those things to me? And if you had to do those things, if you would have did them things to me just one time, you'd be permanently in a wheelchair if you would have tried it. So I'm just letting you know, okay? I'm the one guy that you can't say you destroyed. You didn't do any of those things to. But I give you credit. You tried. You tried, but you failed miserably. You came about as close to destroying me as Dragnut did. You colossally wasted your time trying. All right? And that's not me bragging. That's just me stating the obvious. That's me stating the obvious. All right? So, by the way, if you guys want to know what I'm doing, I'm breaking up sticks and throwing them on the other side there because I'm kind of bored when I'm talking about these two. Because honestly and truthfully, I just want to get back to watching my paint dry, because those two are just boring. They're boring unless they're fighting each other or whatever, or Rev is actually telling Shanny the truth to her face. They're just boring. I'm sorry. I'm just keeping it $1.50. So Rev, now here's the thing, Rev. This is the one thing I wanted to talk to you about in person that apparently we're never going to get to do. So I'm just going to do it here. According to you, you said that you wanted me to get all your junk, as you would call it. Go to your porch, drop it off on your porch, and then just leave, right? Because I had a friend who had a car and everything, right? Rev, do you know what what's that junk called? What is it called? Dumping. Do you know what dumping is, Rev? And do you understand the fine that a person can get? Do you realize how much dirt I would have to give you? Because you said you want your junk. You didn't say you wanted your stuff. You said you wanted your junk. I would have to go back over there to Pennsylvania. I would have to go over there and dig up all the dirt in the backyard and give you all your dirt and then drop it on the porch. I can get fined for that, Rev. I can get massively fined for that. But you want to know what? Well, gee, man, you know what we mean. We want back our lightsabers. And that's not your lightsaber. That's my lightsaber. Them EverDrives, those are my EverDrives. Okay? All the things that you guys gave me was mine. Now, I actually have no problem. I have no problem giving it back to you, Rev. You see, but I got a couple of problems with doing that. Okay? My first problem with doing that is, who do you think you're talking to? That's number one, like that. Okay? Last time I checked, you was eating out of garbage cans in order to eat your dinner. You don't get to come to me and talk to me that way and demand you get anything. Okay? That's number one. Number two, God ain't on your side, but he's certainly on mine. Because as you keep going down the river and you keep going down Know Your Road Boulevard in the corner of Jabroni Drive, where you're going to end up at the SmackDown Hotel to get smacked around by the final boss, the G-Man. You know what I mean? While you're going through all of that, God is using me to do his will and to do the things that he wants me to do. Meanwhile, you're on here proving you have no faith in Jesus Christ, because you get on here and you beg people you don't know for money instead of getting on your knees and praying and asking God for things like you're supposed to. Because you want to know why you don't do that? Because you ain't saved. You can sit there and say, I'm not a Christian all you want. You will never be able to say, G-Man did porn for Christ. You will never be able to say that. You will never be able to say I punched that I punched a woman or somebody saw me getting high on drugs or something like that and then trying to justify it with the Bible. You will never see me on here justifying witchcraft or anything like that. Once I understand that something is wrong, I get away from it. Period. You will never see G-Man doing that. G-Man, you ain't no Christian. G-Man, you ain't no Christian. You can say it all you want, dude. Why don't you make a symphony out of it? Go make a whole musical choir about it, and then see how many people actually buy it. I'm a child of God and a very serious one on top of that. So, and listen to me, Rev. Anytime you think you know how to do it better than me, go make a YouTube video, go stand on the corner and go preach the gospel. I like to see you go do it. And then tell everybody to go trust in somebody you don't even trust in, that you don't even trust in. You don't trust in him to feed you. You trust, you trust the Dragoons, you trust Carrie, you trust all of these people out here who can't stand you. And that's why you beg them all the time. And they troll the ever-living daylights out of you. Them people on your channel that you think are supportive of you, there ain't nothing but people playing you out. And then you get on here and you play make-believe and you pretend like them people actually care about you and they don't. But you don't care as long as you get your little $2 or $3 so that you and your crackhead bum can go over to the store that's about 4 or 5 blocks down from where you live to go get your Delta 8. Well, gee, man, how do you know that? Because I've been over there, you moron. I know a lot of stuff you think I don't know. All right? So keep this in mind. Don't start that G-Man don't know nothing, everything and whatnot, Rev. Because the last person that said I didn't know anything, his name was Drag. And now he's OP Ed Fred for a reason. All right? Don't give me that garbage. I don't know anything. The point of the matter is this, Junior, is this. I don't want your woman. I felt sorry for you and wanted to help you, but you apparently seem to be happy being a bum on the street. You seem to be happy being an argument away from your uncle, from living out in the street. You have no problem with that overweight barracuda using your uncle and lying to him about her health. You have no problem with that because you don't care about your uncle. You never cared about your uncle. You never will care about your uncle. All you care about is making sure that Willie Mammoth gets her 50,000 her 1 million calories she needs every day, while you only get a piece of bread and a little bit of peanut butter. And then you want to sit there and you want to talk about me, dude? Luke, listen to me, dude. I have never been locked up for putting my hands on a child. I've never been locked up for putting my hands on a child. Okay? Now, Shanny, I know you said that you don't like black guys, okay? And I know you don't like Hispanic guys and other races and whatnot, and that's fine. We all know you love child abusers, okay? We all know that you love the man who kicked your son in the back and beat up your kid, because you know why? You did the same thing too. I believe Rev, when Rev told me that in Boulder, Colorado, you beat your kids. I believe him now. I believe him now. I have no reason not to believe Rev. I mean, you love child abusers, don't you, Shanny? You love them. You sleep with them. You give them you go to the kitchen and you make them some poutine pie. That's what you do. Actually, I'm sorry. They don't make that in the kitchen. I think they make that on the sofa. Because you ain't got a bedroom. They make that on the sofa, right? So don't even go there with me, Shanny. Don't even go there with me. Okay? So I have no problem with you only liking your metalhead, child abusing, bum on the street who can't provide for you, who can't do anything for you. Listen to me. I hope your boyfriend and girlfriend thingy lasts forever. Now, I do want to say this. I do remember you saying something about in PA how, you know, in another year you're going to be considered husband and wife through a common law marriage. That's funny because last year you said that was your wife, and the year before that you said that was your wife, and the year before that you said that was your wife. I wish you would get your lies straight, dude. Are you common law married now, or was you common law back in the past? Or will it be in a year? I'm just having a hard time keeping up with all of these lies that you keep coming up with, Rev. See, Shanny, and this is where you're stupid, Shanny. This is where I really got to get on you. Okay, this is why you got the IQ of 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 uh, um of an ant. No, actually, I don't want to insult ants. You have an IQ of doo doo. Let me tell you why. Okay, you have the IQ of doo doo because you have been giving away the poutine pie to a guy who doesn't even want to commit to you. Give me one reason why this man can't take you to the city and marry you. Oh, G man, how am I going to get my food stamps? I really love my food stamps. Without my food stamps, how am I supposed to survive? That's the whole point of getting married to him. But he doesn't want to work, but you keep calling him your husband. But G man, I really need my food stamps, G man. The food stamps are Lord. I mean, I worship at the altar of the food stamps. I need my food stamps, man. I need my food stamps. I need my EBT. Okay, Shanny. Fine. No problem. No problem. See, Rev, I think she has a better commitment to her EBT. Matter of fact, she made sure when she was using you for all of your money and she was spending through all of your money in Boulder, Colorado, Rev, she made sure she kept her EBT. And tell me, Rev, why is there still a 24-karat gold ring in her nose and she hasn't pawned it? And if you're so hungry and you need gas money so bad, how come you haven't sold your Super Nintendo yet, Rev? I'm just saying. You want to make a video about me? I'd appreciate it if you speak the facts because you know I'm going to come at you with them. And Rev, let me tell you something else, Rev. Have you noticed that this entire time I've been making videos about you, I haven't put none of this paperwork on camera yet? You do understand I have copies of all of your bank records. Let me say this again to you, Rev. I have copies of your bank records where your money really went. Okay, you keep talking about how you had to move and you had to move and you had to move. That's a funny story, Rev. That's a real funny story. But I got your bank records. That ain't the only thing I got. That ain't the only thing I got. It would be a really terrible thing if I would have post office address this stuff to a certain person that you won't stop talking about, and then make sure that person knows and has proof what you actually did. Then I have this other guy I kind of co-host a show with sometimes, you know, and I don't think you want me to go there. All right. You really, I mean, I've been holding this stupid cell phone for you that belongs to Zachary, but you want to know what, Rev and Shanny, this is the brutal reality of the matter. You see, that phone was left at my house on my property. You was told over and 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 over to go over there and get your things that you left there. You know, like, you know, the what do you call it? The toaster oven. Now, I got to be honest with you, Shanny. That toaster oven was given to somebody. I did that a long time ago. like I got a life. I got things I got to do and everything and whatnot. You know, that red phone, I'm actually going to take to the shop tomorrow. I'm going to sell it. Unless your man humbles himself before the Lord, not me, before the Lord, and actually makes a YouTube video asking me politely to think about him in his situation and give it. But that's not going to happen because before he made that video, he made 3 other videos that he would have to kind of go back on, where he was saying all kinds of things like, you know, G man, you know, you want my girl and all this other stuff. I don't want your girl. You don't even want your girl, Rev. And Shanny, that's how stupid you are. He doesn't even want you. Well, as long as he's getting his poutine pie, I don't think Rev really cares about you. I really don't. I mean, think about it. Think about this, Rev. I want you to think about this. I do got to give you a little bit of credit, man. There ain't a lot of men that can pull that off, man, to be able to keep some stupid chick with her. I'm sorry, to keep a stupid chick with you, it don't work. I mean, I mean, seriously, dude, like honestly, I don't think you get enough credit for how much you're using Shanny. like honestly, you don't want to work and she's still with you and then claims to be a feminist. We got to give Rev his credit. I mean, this is a bum who doesn't want to work, and the only thing he has to offer is that the uncle gave him somewhere to live. That is literally all he has to offer. I'm sorry, one more thing too. He's really good at wiping her butt. He's really good at wiping her butt. He doesn't cook for her. Doesn't do anything really for her much, you know. I mean, she can call Uber to go to the places she needs to go to or whatever. She can get some money or whatever. But Rev pulled that mess off. Rev broke the cheat code, how to stay with a woman without having a job. go, Rev. You go, Rev. You showing me, man. You're definitely ponying and destroying me, dude. You're definitely ponying and destroying me. Rev, you want to know why you're going through this right now, Rev? When you and Shanny moved in that house, what did I say to you and Shanny? What did I say to you? I said, do not cross me. I promised you I would be worse than drag, and I meant it. You understand what I'm saying? Because what they had was hearsay. A lot of the things that they were saying, yeah, they were getting it from doing research and all this other stuff, but I was physically there. And I still got that piece of rug that smells like fungus feet. You don't want to go there with me, all right? There's only one other person on here that can confirm how they smell, and that's one bad-ish. No, that's not true. And the people that actually went to the house over there in Boulder, Colorado, and actually saw how they live too. You're nasty, Shanny. And then you spoke about something, I want you. Shanny, don't you got a YouTube video from the Twitch days, I think it was, where you said, and I quote, where if I ever did that to somebody on the street, that they would kick my butt, and you called me a narc. So you're mad at me because I told everybody you stink. You're mad at me because I told everybody you don't wash and you don't bathe, and that when I saw the bathtub, it had so much of that gray stuff around the tub that the water wouldn't even go down. And Rev can confirm that because he was the one that couldn't get the water to go down after I made him clean it. And that's the other thing, Rev. Here's something that you will never get on me that I got on you. For all the times I've been called a slave to Shanny and all this other stuff and whatnot, how many times did you do what I told you to do? You know, being the fact that God gave me such a victory over you two, where God put you guys under me after you guys stupidly spent all your money, and after I got back the house, then you had to live in that house, and then you had to endure me. You had to endure me. You want to know why? Because that's what happens to people who don't want to work. That's what happens to people who don't want to bathe. That happens to people, and mind you, and it's not even the fact that you didn't want to bathe, Shanny. It's the fact that you guys were sleeping on a. See, I'm a Christian. I can't say certain things on here, but a lot of you will get this when I say this. You know, the fact that you were sleeping on a PP mattress. The fact that mattress had that the vast majority of that mattress had nothing but a big giant yellow stain in it, and you're gonna sit there and talk about I want you. Do you think I'm so desperate for a woman that I would sit there and that I would want a woman that doesn't bathe and is too lazy to walk to the bathroom, but would rather pee on her own bed and then sleep on that same bed? Are you crazy? Remember, it was you who made the video, Shanny, saying I wanted you. Call me a narc now. What? Tell me, Shanny, what is it about you that I want? You have 2 shirts. You don't brush your teeth. I don't even think you got any teeth anymore. Like, what is it about you that I want? And people are going to say, gee, man, you're being ungodly. Listen to me. She made a YouTube video stating that I wanted her. Okay? What is it about you that I want? You come at me with pride, I'm going to humble you. What is it about you that I want, Shanny? Like, let's say, for example, I make a YouTube video and I get on here and I start bragging and I say I want, who's somebody on this community? Let's say I want, who's somebody in this community? Let's say I want Just Breezing. Let's say that. G-Man wants Just Breezing and whatnot, right? And I'm getting all cocky and I'm being conceited on here and I'm saying I want Just Breezing. And then Just Breezing sees the video. Just Breezing's gonna be like, wait a minute, G-Man, no disrespect, but what makes you think that I want blah, 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 blah? And she will be right for doing it. I'm doing the same thing with Shanny. Shanny's sitting there saying that everybody wants her and that I want her and all this other stuff. And Rev's bragging about how much of a great woman she is and all this other stuff and whatnot. And the woman is afraid of soap and water. She doesn't know what shampoo is. She doesn't use it. You can look at her hair and tell she don't use shampoo. All of that money that gets donated on that YouTube channel, all Rev's got to do is go to the secondhand store and buy her a decent t-shirt. But she would rather wear that same sweater that she's been wearing from 5 years ago that's got bugs coming out of it. One day they need to do a close-up to that sweater. I'm telling you, if you can ever get a good shot of that sweater, do a close up. You'll see them little black things coming out of her sweater. The woman got fleas, and I think she got scabies too. I got a real good uh, uh, uh um reason to believe that that woman has scabies. But she's talking about somebody want her. Come on now, come on, Shanny. This is meant to humble you. Stop telling Rev I want you. If there was ever a time I was slightly interested, it was back in the great debate days, and I didn't know nothing about you. And that's when Chris broke up with you and everything and whatnot. And that's documented. Your mother told the story on that one. I am a worker. I bust my rear end every day. I work. And Shanny, you wish you had somebody that actually got out there behind and worked and brought home a paycheck. Tell me something. Tell me something, Shanny. I want to prove to you guys right now that Shanny is a liar and that Shanny doesn't have no truth in her. If Shanny had the opportunity to, let's say, have Michael, Carrie's husband, who actually works, and Rev, who do you think she's going to pick right now? She's going to pick Michael because Michael's bringing home a paycheck. Now, mind you, she only likes Caucasian people, so I'm not trying to be racist or nothing like that. I'm only going to pick people who are Caucasian or whatever, okay? Who has a job in this community? Nick Bravo, Sabella's man, right? Nick Bravo works, right? I think doesn't Nick work? Nick Bravo has a job, right? If Shanny had an opportunity to get Nick Bravo and he was bringing home a paycheck every day, do you think that she would pick Nick Bravo, or you think she would pick Rev? No, she would pick Nick Bravo. But I got one better. Let's use the same couple. Let's use Sabella. Sabella works. I think Sabella has 2 jobs. And, you know, Shanny has mentioned that she likes women and everything and whatnot, claiming to be a Christian and all of that. But let's just say, hypothetically speaking, Shanny had an opportunity to get Sabella. Sabella's bringing home not 1, but 2 paychecks. Do you think that she would pick Sabella, or do you think that she would pick Rev? See, Rev, everybody's more qualified than you as long as they got some money in their pocket. So stop with the stop getting on camera, making yourself look like a fool, bragging to me about your girl and your relationship when you can't even do nothing for her. I'm just keeping it real, dude. You can't do nothing for her. And you're trying to put me down and say, oh, gee, man, she don't want you. She's not into you. Good, because I'm not into her. If I want somebody who's physically handicapped, I will go find somebody with the mindset of finding somebody who's physically handicapped. And I'm just going by what Shanny says. She can't walk. She can't sit. Or, I don't know, forget that she can't sit in the car too long because she'll get blood clots, even though that never happened. Hey, Shanny, how does that song go again? I don't want no scrub, blah, 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 right? Tell me something, Shanny. I've never dated a scrub before, right? Tell me, Shanny, I would like to know from you, what is it like to date a scrub? Especially when I'm dealing with 2 rich white people versus 1 poor black man. Tell me something, Shanny. How did that 1 poor black man do against those 2 rich white people? I'm just curious. How did he do? Well, some people in here are probably rebuking me, saying, "Well, gee, man, technically they were never rich. He just had an inheritance," and I would agree with you. But let's just run with her narrative. Her narrative is that they were rich. How did that 1 poor black guy do against you? And I still consider myself poor. That's the funny thing about it. The way I see Rev and Shanny acting like, I shouldn't be poor and the government should. And meanwhile, we poor, people that were born in poverty are looking at these 2 and like, give me a break. They're so entitled. They better learn how to go pick that cotton. They better go learn how to go pick up them seeds. They better go learn to pick up them strawberries. This is your life now. But wait a minute, Rev. That's not necessarily true for you, though, because like I said, that car you got, I believe that car runs anywhere between $19,000 to about $30,000 new. I don't know how old that car is, but guys, he ain't riding around in that Cadillac no more. He ain't riding around in that Durango no more. Somebody got him a nice ride. He has a car. And Rev, I would like to personally thank you, Rev, because in one of your video responses, you told everybody that you have a new car. That is how stupid you are. See, when I want to keep something private, I keep my mouth shut. You, on the other hand, dude, all somebody got to do is bring it up and you're running with it. You're stupid with a capital S. So, Rev, do yourself a favor when you turn your computer back on, talk about politics, talk about how Carrie keeps making fun of you. Talk about that stuff. But do yourself a favor and keep my name out of your mouth, because you just got owned. And I just want you to know that. You got massively owned. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. No, I don't think they have auto insurance, but I think when he gets it, the uncle's going to pay it for him. Shanny's good at her conning job. We're so poor, the burglars had to bring us stuff. Technically, it's one rich black man and two poor. Oh man, Sabella says, let me put these comments on here because these deserve to be seen. That one. Let's see something here. We're so got that one. Technically, it's one rich black man. And then Sabella, tell her she finally has a chance with my ex. And they, oh, wait a minute. Thank you, Sabella, for reminding me about that. Shanny, I don't know if I told you this or not, but Bruce Shepard is available. Bruce and Sabella's not together no more, Shanny. Now you can leave Rev. Because Bruce, I think Bruce has a couple of dollars in his pocket. I don't know if he's going to give it to you, but, he has a couple of dollars in his pocket. You always wanted Bruce. He's available. Now, Rev, you better watch her, because I'm telling you, she's going to get on that email. She's going to try to get a hold of him, because she's looking for a reason to leave your behind, man. Maybe in your world, G-Man. In my world, people don't have to leave their partner if they find someone who has a bigger check. Well, Victoria, see, normally I would agree with you. The problem is I'm arguing from Shanny's perspective. You see, Shanny is pretending to care about Rev. She's just looking for the next sucker to, the next man to take her in so she can spend all of their money. But you stalking, bro. No, I'm not stalking. I'm not the one going up there. I have peoples. Wait a minute, Nick gets disability. Hey, that's more money than Rev and Shanny's getting. That's more money than what Shanny's getting. So, Shanny, after all these years, Shanny, you still haven't learned how to make a ponage video yet, have you, Shanny? You still haven't learned how to make a ponage video about me, and you never will, because I will never get beaten. I will never get showed up. I will never be exposed by the Minnesota Barracuda who swims in sewers, all right, and refuses to bathe after she surfaces on land and grows her legs and grows some arms and then crawls in her house because, according to her, she can't do anything. And by the way, for the new people that may be here, there's nothing wrong with Shanny. Shanny is a storyteller, and Shanny can do all of the things that a normal person can do. The only thing that Shanny can't seem to do is to commit to a diet and actually do something with her health. That's about it. And by the way, Rev knows this too. Rev's a liar. He is untrustworthy, and he knows that Shanny's a liar as well too. Just to let you guys know, he ain't innocent. He knows. He knows. But anyway, guys, Shanny and Rev, this is the final boss telling you to know your role, shut your mouth, and to make sure you go to your local pantry where there are thousands of churches giving away free food every day. You don't have to prostitute yourself online, lie online, try to be some type of movie star, which you are not, in order to get $2 to buy Delta 8, all right? Go to your local pantry and get what you need. And then maybe one day when you humble yourself and you do the things that the people has been telling you to do on here literally for years, maybe one day you can be accepted and forgiven by people in this community, That's probably never going to happen because, like I said, you don't like taking advice, Shanny, because you know it all. You know everything, Shanny. You know everything about everything about everything, and that's why you have absolutely nothing. When you start humbling yourself and admit that you know nothing, that's when you're going to start getting somewhere in your life. You know what I mean? But that's too much knowledge for a person who pretended to go to college and doesn't even have a GED. I'm just saying. See you guys later.